Standard Deviation Overview. Subscribe. Universal Tutor. Standard deviation is a statistical concept used to measure the amount of variability or dispersion in a set of data points. It provides a quantitative way to understand how individual data points differ from the mean, average, of the dataset. A higher standard deviation indicates that the data points are more spread out from the mean, while a lower standard deviation suggests that the data points are closer to the mean. Here's an overview of key points about standard deviation. Measuring variability. Standard deviation quantifies the degree of scatter or dispersion within a dataset. It helps to understand the spread of data points around the central value, mean. Calculation. The standard deviation is calculated using the following steps. Calculate the mean of the data points. For each data point, find the squared difference between the data point and the mean. Sum up all the squared differences. Divide the sum by the number of data points. Take the square root of the result to obtain the standard deviation. Interpretation. A small standard deviation indicates that the data points are closely clustered around the mean, implying low variability. A larger standard deviation means that the data points are more spread out, indicating higher variability. Units. The standard deviation has the same units as the data points themselves. For example, if you're measuring heights in centimeters, the standard deviation will also be in centimeters. Normal distribution. In a normal distribution, bell curve, about 68% of the data falls within one standard deviation from the mean, about 95% falls within two standard deviations, and about 99.7% falls within three standard deviations. Comparing datasets. Standard deviation is useful for comparing the variability of different datasets. A smaller standard deviation suggests more consistent data, while a larger one indicates more diverse data. Applications. Standard deviation is widely used in various fields, including finance, economics, science, social sciences, and quality control. In finance, it helps measure risk and volatility in investments. In scientific experiments, it indicates the reliability of measurements. Limitations. Standard deviation assumes that the data follows a certain distribution, often the normal distribution. It may not work well for highly skewed or non-normal data. Robustness. Outliers, extreme values, can strongly influence the standard deviation. In cases where outliers are present, alternative measures like the interquartile range might be more appropriate. Sample versus population. When calculating the standard deviation from a sample, it's important to use the appropriate formula to account for the fact that you're working with a subset of the entire population. Standard deviation is a fundamental statistical tool that helps provide insights into the variability and distribution of data, making it a crucial concept for data analysis and interpretation. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like.